Salut, c'est Hansi the Blind Guardian. Keep your eyes open, you're watching Metal Impact. It's been great. It was a good experience to have some shows this year at least. We have been abstinent in the whole year 2013, so when we went back on stage we felt a sort of insecurity would go too far. But you know, you have that sort of excitement when you haven't played for a long time. And it went out extremely well. I mean, the people went nuts, we had a great time, and we can't, wait until we hit the stage again next year. Difficult, and I have to prepare myself properly well, to be in good shape. It's still very demanding, especially if we talk about territories like Europe in its whole, and there are like, 20, 30 countries which we're going to visit within 2.5 months. And obviously you have to do like 3 or 4 shows back to back, and we play like 100 to 120 minutes each night. And this means hard work, especially for a vocalist and a drummer. There are different opinions in the band. Andre and I, we are the main songwriters, and he felt it sometimes a little difficult to come up with ideas this time. For me it was different. I felt it fairly easy to do my part of the job. This differs. Sometimes you get into songwriting fairly easy and you have a good flow, which was the case with me. And Andre said he felt it very demanding to come up with new ideas in the beginning. This changed later on, so it was not a big deal. Once we have composed the first 2 or 3 songs, we invited Charlie Bauerfeind for a first recording session, and ever since everything for me went extremely nice. And it was demanding, obviously, because the production always is demanding, because you put all your efforts in and you try to be as good as you can, and sometimes there are like limits and you need to break down these limits, and this is can be a very challenging situation for everyone in the studio, but a guy like Charlie Bauerfeind usually leads you fairly easy to that point, and he knows where the barriers are.
When they are coming, give us guidance, for they are calling.
It could be a natural process for Blind Guardian, because we're so heavily influenced by Queen that this is part of our second nature. If we go into that direction, then it gets that sort of Queenish attitude. I was thinking about 70s music when I did the song, but not in particular about Queen, but about this era in general. Like Neil Young, Genesis, Electric Light Orchestra. They all have had, an impact on me in my youth, and also when I do songwriting nowadays.
They have to feel it. We must believe in something that I would call a miracle.
Queen obviously has a very big impact, but it was not the main goal to go into that direction. But this is how people relate to it. It seems to be something they connect easily to Queen, and I think you're right. It's probably because of the piano and the structuring of the backing vocals going along with it. I'm really happy about that. We have had to make decisions which songs would end up on the album and which not, and we had another strong song called Distant Memories, which is also sort of semi-ballad and is as strong as all the other songs, but Miracle Machine finally made it, and I was really happy about that. Thanks to Charlie Bauerfeind, it has been fairly easy, because it was mainly on him to coordinate everything. The idea was mainly based on the introduction of the album, where we needed a sort of Camina Burana environment for the vocals yet. And therefore, since we couldn't get a 200-piece choir, orchestra, whatever you call it, we needed to come up with different solutions, and therefore we searched for choirs we wanted to work with and record them separately, and then just put the stuff together in the studio, but still have the body of so many people singing. This was the main goal behind that. It will be maybe an hour of music, probably 70 minutes of music. All classical music in a sort of Blind Guardian style, but without Blind Guardian music, you know, or without the band. It's just me singing, and I'm, you know, telling a story. It's going to be interesting to see how people will relate on it. You can imagine Blind Guardian going soundtrack for the Lord of the Rings movie. It is our lifetime project, and yes, we could go back later on and do the same thing with the band. Yeah. And we also could do it as a live performance, and this is where the info about the 3 albums could come across. Changed physically, obviously, but the spirit, the core of us as musicians, and I think that's pretty much the case with every musician, has stayed the same. So it's really like, you know, we work on something which enriches our life and keeps our ideals and idols of youth alive, and this is something I'm really grateful for. I also still enjoy playing live a lot. We luckily have had the privilege that we sometimes have gaps in between where we can stay at home, but whenever we're on the road, it's the same sensation than 30 years back. You know, we're on tour. Let's be Beavis and Butthead, basically. You know.
Thank you very much to be here in Paris and to talk to us. Thank you.
Yeah.